Sarvendra Srivastava is now with us. Sarvendra, what do you make of the weekly closing, 7,860? Assume if we close over here, it's a very strong weekly close as well?
Yes, I think 7850 is definitely a number to look at, and probably what we can see on the ticker right now. That for the week we are closing past that number. So yes, I wouldn't have wanted more volumes into this week, but typically being a holiday truncated week and quite a few participants missing into the action, even though the bar is good, but the volumes are missing. So yes, you will take the price above 7850. A close would be considered a good close for the week.
Right. You had a contra call on the metals pack. They've done well. You still think that Vedanta, Hindalco, Tata Steel would all continue to do well? Or now you think probably risk rewards are not that great to enter into on a fresh a fresh side?
See, for immediate short term, yes, they have moved up, and probably for short term traders, the risk reward probably is not that great, which it was probably last time when we had a chat. But mind you, that view of outperformance on this space is a pretty medium to long term one. So for the next 12 to 15 months, I think yes, the sector can still be an outperformer vis-a-vis the Nifty. So on that count, the answer is yes. But yes, you will want a small correction to enter fresh positions.
Right, but within this JSW Steel, the one name that did not correct still continues to look very, very strong.
Yes, that is definitely one name within that space, which is the strongest probably of the lot, because it has not even it's not corrected the way probably others have, like an Hindalco or a Vedanta or a Tata Steel, where stocks went on and made multi-year lows. So in that sense, JSW, if it breaks out, then actually it could be one of the show stealers for 2016. So if that's the case, then that's the stock to look at from that space.
Right. What would you make of Reliance Infrastructure? The big breakout that we've seen today after the recent outperformance, you think it's just adding on to strength for future growth?
Yeah, if you point out as a group, I think ADAG pack, which was beaten down and over the last couple of years was one of the underperforming houses. Now probably that house is due for outperformance, because the entire underperformance probably can get corrected, and next 12 to 24 months could be good for that entire pack. So be it a Arcom or a Reliance Capital or an R Power, I think, and including Reliance Infra and P Power Defense, I think these 5 names from that pack clearly show 25 to 30% upsides from current levels.
Right, but again, you would wait for corrections to buy into these names because these names have done very well of late?
I think Reliance Power is still in a good risk-reward situation, so that can be one trade from the pack that can be taken. Probably Arcom also maybe 5% lower from here. Arcom also gives you a decent risk-reward. But yes, Reliance Capital, Reliance Infra, they have run up, so you would want a small little bit correction probably and then enter.
Right, but any 5-10% correction should be used as an opportunity to enter into ADAG pack. Also, over the last 2-3 years on a fundamental side, they have sold a lot of their business. They are trying to repair their balance sheet, trying to come positive on a cash flow basis.
No, absolutely. I think, as I said, if one space, one industrial house or one corporate house that looks good is ADAG. Mind you, say around a year back, I used to say the same about Tata Group companies 1.5 years back, that something is happening in the Tata Group, and almost all the stocks now have done well for themselves and can continue to do well. So you can add ADAG pack into that name. I believe that the entire Tata Group pack and the ADAG pack, that's looking very, very nicely poised for medium to long term gains.
So again, as you said about the Tata Group, maybe a Tata Motors has done very well, a Tata Steel, but at the same time, a Tata Power has not done that well. So again, within the ADAG pack, you expect that if one is buying into this call, they should look for a basket, because certain names would do very well and certain names would probably underperform.
Yes, well, once you are allocating funds, you will probably give a little bit percentage to each, and then you can be underweight, overweight. So that's best left to the fund manager. But yes, the entire pack, I can say that 25 to 30% upsides are clearly visible across the board in that space. So you would make decent money if you hold that side of the market for the next 12 to 15 months.
Right. What would you make of Biocon and the move today? It's been one of the worst performing, pharma names. You think today's move is signaling something? It can go up further from here on?
Yes, I think today's move is interesting, and as you know, that 5 cents has been negative on the pharma, the IT, and the FMCG space for the last. We've been negative on these 3 spaces for the last couple of quarters now. But yes, I have in each of these names, in each of these sectors, there are a few names that are looking good. So Biocon within the pharma space could qualify to being that name within the large cap pharma space, which can actually outperform the peers as well as the benchmark index. So Biocon is definitely one stock which can give you around 25 to 30% from here.
Right. You would be looking to buy despite the 5% move, or again there is a caveat that only on a bad day you should buy these names?
No, I don't mind buying a 500 to 510 range. So you can pretty well start. I think 509 is the ticker. Biocon, you can pretty well start from the current levels itself. You will have to keep a stop, slightly wider stop, because if you're looking at for higher targets, so you'll have to keep a stop somewhere below 484. And once you have that 5-6% kind of a stop, and then you should look for a 20-25% kind of upside.
Right. Sun TV, what would be your view? It's up 5% at 413. It's almost nearing its 52-week high of 450. Sorry.
See, Sun TV is, I'll have to. It's not something that I regularly track, but whatever I can see off the cuff, I'll just let you know. Yeah, it seems nicely poised. So I would right now, if I have to venture a trade, I will venture for a 440, 450 kind of a target. Not more than that. So around a 440, 450 is what I would expect.
So it's right, Sarvendra. Just stay on with us. About 90 seconds remaining for closing. I'll just read the wall and come back to you again. 3 points down for Nifty, so no material change. Mid-cap index did well. However, Bank Nifty or Nifty Bank now was on the lower side. Vedanta Limited 3 to 3.5% higher. Tata Motors up 1%. SBI down 0.5%. Tata Steel down about 0.2%. Axis Bank, 0.25% decline. PNB down about 1%. BHEL up 0.5% or so. ONGC down about 0.6%. Z Entertainment down 1.9%. Reliance down about 0.2%. Bharti Airtel was up 2%. ITC was up about 0.7% or so. Idea Cellular 1% higher. Cairn India up about 2.5%. Sun Pharma absolutely flat, no change over there. NTPC about 25 paisa higher. Bank of Baroda was again flat. Adani Ports 60 paisa higher. Coal India no change. L&T was up about 0.1%. Tata Power 1.2% higher, 75 paisa. GAIL was up about 1.3%. GAIL has added on to strength day by day. Yes Bank absolutely flat. Power Grid up about 25 paisa or so. Infosys down about 5 rupees. HDFC Bank 2 rupees higher. HUL absolutely flat. IndusInd Bank 1% higher. IndusInd Bank was among the few names in the banking pack that did very well today. Tech Mahindra down about 1 rupee. Kotak Bank 10 paisa on the higher side. TCS up 5 rupees or so. Absolutely flat actually. 5 rupees, 10 rupees is nothing for TCS. Wipro up about 1 rupee. Cipla absolutely flat. HCL Tech down about 0.4%. Asian Paints up about 0.25%. M&M was up 0.4%. Lupin absolutely flat. Dr. Reddy's down 12 rupees. That's the closing bell. 2 points down for the Nifty. Not doing particularly much today. Sensex down about 7 points. We should have the adjusted close coming in soon. And again, don't expect any meaningful change in that particular direction. Bosch was down about 27 rupees. Bajaj 10 rupees higher. Vedanta up about 3%. Hindalco up 1.9%. So the metals rally continues on Dalal Street. ICICI down 1.2%. Tata Motors up about 1%. Tata Steel down about 0.45%. Axis Bank down about 0.25%. PNB 120 rupees. BHEL about 50 paisa on the higher side. ONGC down 0.5%. Z Entertainment down 2%. Top gainer on your screen, Vedanta up 3%. In fact, it was about the metals pack today. That's about it. Cairn India was up 2%. Cairn India is also a commodity name. That was the second best gainer. Hindalco, that's from the metals pack, was the third best gainer. So the top 3 gainers were from the metals pack. Bharti up 1.6%. Again, has been a big underperformer. So you can say the underperforming name were rallying. GAIL continues to gain. It was up about 1.2% towards close. Let's look at the losers as well. Tata Power on your screen up about 1.2%. In terms of losers, Z was one of the top losers. It was down 2%. ICICI Bank, after 2-3 days of gains, was down 1.2%. PNB was down 1%, HCL Tech down 1%, Grasim down about 1% or so. HDFC, Maruti, Oil, ONGC, that is down anywhere between about 0.75 to about 1% to 0.5% or so. Two names, let's look at Alchem Labs, that was up more than about 10%. It was a listing yesterday, was up 30% yesterday, up 10% today. Dr. Lal was up 9%, closer to 900 odd rupees. Alchem, let's pull up that one, it was up about 11 odd percent. Reliance Infrastructure from the ADAG pack, we just spoke about that with Sarvendra. It was up about 7% towards close. Reliance Industrial Infra, that's a Mukesh Ambani Group company. It was up 14%. Jaicorp has also started to move up. Jaicorp was up 10%, 68 rupees for Jaicorp. Make Money Organics 6% higher. Walchand Nagar Industry up about 9.5 odd percent. Nelco up about 10 odd percent. Kolte Patil up 10%. ARSS Infra was up 20%. V-Mart Retail, we got you the news about RBI and the FPI that they have opened up in this name. It was up close to about 20 odd percent. There were a whole host of movers actually that were doing particularly well. Jaikumar Infrastructure was up about 10 rupees or 10%, sorry, or so. Some of the losers, so Prabhat Dairy was down 4, Ashoka Buildcon was down 2.5, Treehouse, there was some news flow over there. We spoke to the management. It was down about 5.5 odd percent. We were talking to Sarvendra. He's still with us. Sarvendra, a contra call on PNB as well. But however, with markets also rallying, this name has not done that well. Would you like to close that call?
No, I think PNB probably is in an extended kind of a bottoming formation mode. But my sense is that probably the worst is over there as well. So it's just one confirmation that I have not got. Yes, I agree that there are a couple of stocks that we are looking at, including Tata Steel and PNB, and a couple of more names which we are looking at for confirmation for the market turn. So probably the Bank Nifty and PNB, that turn is missing as far as these two names are concerned. So Bank Nifty has underperformed the week, not been able to register a new high, where Nifty and quite a few stocks, leading stocks, have done new highs for the week. We could not, Bank Nifty could not surpass the previous swing high that it made 4 days back. And same is the case with PNB, could not go past that 124, 125 hurdle. But my sense is that you have not seen any major weakness as well, and it's clearly getting oversold. And what I can feel is that this last 4-5 days, this narrow range bound movement looks to me like more accumulation than any kind of distribution. So the moment it turns, it would turn for good, and then you should see higher numbers. So PNB definitely from these levels will be a medium-term buy.
Right. How would you look at names like Jaicorp, back in action for the last 3-4 days? It's up 10% today as well.
Yeah, that's a trading favorite. So we like trading that stock, but I don't see a buy and hold kind of a strategy there for more than say 3-6 months. You can buy and hold. But beyond that, the stock tends to be very volatile and has not made money if you've been holding it in the last rallies. Also, if you hold it more than 3-6 months, the stock had the tendency to come back and break into new lows. So let's hope that this time it has turned for good. But yeah, I don't mind keeping long trades there for the next 3 months. The stock has given a very decent short to medium term kind of a breakout.
Right. Last time when it was up for 3 months, it was almost up every day. Do you see that sort of a rally coming in?
Yeah, see, that stock is tightly held, and the players there are few, and they have got size. So yes, it's very, very possible, because once it starts moving, it does move very fast, and it's a very high beta name. So that can definitely be possible, but traders have to be nimble there, because making money in this stock consistently is a challenge for even professional traders.
Right. Jubilant Foodworks, 5% higher today, back in action after poor results for the first time.
Yeah, I think the stock is forming a small little base cluster now. How will it be able to repair the damage and recover, go past 1800, 1850 levels? That's the question that I'm asking myself. But no clear answers yet. I think 1600, 1620, that's a tough hurdle area as far as Jubilant Foods is concerned. So I would be surprised if it takes out 1620. But if it takes out 1620, then yes, it can definitely be a good trading bet on the long side for the next 1 to 3 months.
But right now you would like to avoid it?
Yeah, avoid. Right now it's an avoid, yeah.
Right. What would be your view on something like a HUL. Now, it has done very well when the markets were not doing well. In the last 4-5 days, there has not been much action over there. Any view on that name?
See, the FMCG space as a whole, I would tend to avoid and be underweight on. Not that we will want to aggressively go short in defensive names like HUL, because the stock can still keep on gradually going up, and even though it can be an underperformer, but still price-wise it will have a net positive movement only. But yeah, if you have to make alpha and if you have to make more money than the index, then HUL is not the name to be in from here on for the next 12 months. That view is clear, and that is why I said IT, Pharma and FMCG, they will be the three sectors that are likely to underperform for the next 9 to 12 months.
Right. As far as FMCG is concerned, ITC, at least you could give us your view on that, because that has been an underperformer versus the sector. A run up to the budget, maybe, it always tends to underperform because of the tax hike that those are expected. After that, do you expect a bottom to be made over there?
See, a couple of months back, I was talking to someone who had big positions in ITC, long-term buys and holding it right from the 70, 80 levels, and they are holding it. But my sense is that the best probably for that run is over. The stock needs to do a decent long-term time-wise as well as price-wise correction. So I can see this stock falling as low as 250, 260 going forward next 12 to 24 months. So that's definitely possible on this one. I'm not saying that I want to aggressively short this one, but the worst case scenario, the stock could actually touch 250, 260 levels. I know that those levels seem scary right now, but I have seen these patterns play out time and again, and just going with that pattern, I feel that ITC has much more downsides to go from here on.
Right. A word on Reliance again. Last time when we spoke, you were bullish. The name has done okay from that level. You think still channels are open up to 1180, which you told us last time?
1050 is the number. Once it breaks out of 1050, then it gets into a serious good medium to long term uptrend, and definitely the whole stance changes as far as Reliance is concerned. So 1050 is what, as I said last time when we had a chat, that 1050 is my trading call, and I would tend to maintain that. 1050 is where I will hold Reliance, and then probably book some profits.
Right. And now to buy on from here on for 50 rupees is not probably that attractive as it was a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, absolutely. But if someone wants to trade, then trailing stop losses have to be somewhere around below 1980 odd levels. 980 odd levels. You have to keep below 980. You have to keep your stop loss, and then you can probably trade for 1050 also, because that will give you around a 1:2.5 kind of a risk reward.
Right. Last time you've been short on Pharma for a while. Can you just tell us about Sun Pharma? Last week, there was negative news flow. On Monday, it opened down 10% and now closed above the level of Friday. Does that indicate a lot of strength in the name?
It indicates definitely a lot of churn. I don't have the final answer as to is it a pattern of strength or not. But my sense is clear that when we were talking in the morning show, that I see a worst case downside in the region of around 650, 660 as far as Sun Pharma is concerned. So I will touch the stock only around those levels, as probably every bounce for me is a selling opportunity only, because as I said, I maintain a strong sell as far as the big pharma names are concerned.
Right, but can one short it now, or one should wait and watch for some news flow to come in, or probably ahead of results or closer to any board meet is when you should look at selling, because that's essentially, you need a trigger for the stock to fall. It cannot just keep falling.
No, I you know that I don't believe in that. Events and news always follows price action. So price action is always in advance. So yeah, event and news can follow, but the stock can, when the stock fell from 900 odd, or when it started falling from 920, actually the news and everything started to come at around the 800 levels. And again, then it gapped down and went down below those levels. So someone already sold. So my sense is that news and events always follow price, and I continue to believe that if you hold a gun to my head, then I will short Sun Pharma at current levels only, probably with a stop loss at 830, and look for a target of around 650, 660.
Right. You would do that for the entire pharma pack, Sarvendra, except a Biocon and Cipla, because everything else has rallied.
So DRL, Dr. Reddy's has met my target, so that trade is out of the system. Ajanta Pharma and Lupin have also more or less done their downsides. They might do little more, but the real cream for these three names is out. So DRL, Ajanta Pharma and Lupin have already fallen close to 15-20% or more. DRL does slightly more than that. So the cream in that short trade is over for these three names. But I still believe Divi's Lab, Aurobindo Pharma, Sun Pharma, there's still some juice left in these names. Divi's and Aurobindo have not fallen, but I think they are next in line. Serious cuts coming into these two names is what my sense is.
Right, but on a fundamental side, Divi's has always tend to outperform the market in terms of numbers, in terms of facilities that they have. But anyways, people used to say that about Sun as well. But now we know that it's fallen about 30% from the highs.
DRL, Ajanta Pharma, everything, more or less the story in the pharma space was same. So it's kind of now getting in, sinking in with people that yes, these names can fall 20-30%. So I don't see Divi's and Oro being very far behind. Maybe next 1 or 2 months or 3 months, once they complete their respective setups, then a minimum 15-20% downside is pending in both those names.
Right, Sarvendra, thank you so much for joining us. Merry Christmas to you and your team, and all the best for 2016.